What's goody, everybody? It is full-time trip. We're back in the building. Liverpool 2, Arsenal 2 at Liverpool Stadium, Anfield. Hold on real quick before we go. I gotta hold on. Let me put this there. Hold on. Let me make sure I got the chair on this side, me on this side. Let's give them the guard of honor. Let's give the guard of honor, guys. Like everybody making a big deal out of this shit, man. Let's make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Who cares about the guard of honor? Just let me get that out the gate. Let's make sure we cover that. But yeah, listen, today was this was the game that encapsulated everything that went right and wrong with Arsenal this season. Well, mostly wrong, but this epitomized our season. This literally epitomized our season in so many different ways. I am actually shocked at how much of a summarization and a summation of everything that we went through this season manifested in one game. I don't know. I don't even know where to begin. Well, I know exactly where to begin. That first half, we looked dead on our feet. We were getting tore through that midfield nonstop. A defense was 6s and 7s. The attack looked so incoherent after the first couple of minutes where we did it. But you know what? Let's go through the script. We start the first 2 minutes. Big chance happens. Miss that chance, of course. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody's ruthless enough to really take that chance consistently and bang it and get us where we need to be. Saka, it was him this time. You know what I mean? Minutes later, we start to lose our positioning and standing and momentum and stuff like that. The opposition gains momentum, this case Liverpool, and they scored 2 goals in like 2 minutes. Just gone. We switch off, literally, and then a straight cross to Gakpo goes in, and then right after that we get taken to the cleaners. One attack, full flow. They just pass it right in, and Diaz is on the other side of it. 2 goals down in about 2 minutes, and the rest of that half we're just chasing it away. Nothing looks good, nothing looks together. Everything looks super disjointed, just dead on the feet. Second half rolls around, and completely different story. We actually look like we're getting on the front foot. We're getting our hands into things. The flow looked a little bit better. Now I'll talk a little bit more detail about what I thought was the most impactful change, but we're getting one back, you know. Again, a cross from Trossard on the side into Martinelli, and Martinelli does a header of old. I ain't seen that Martinelli in a long time, baby. You know what I mean? And I'm seeing dynamic runs. I'm seeing great long range passing into space. I'm seeing a lot of good things happening, and we eventually get a banger shot from Odegaard, goes off the post, and Marino's there to poach. It's 2-2, and the rest of the game is the rest of the game. You know, we had some moments there. Then we went down to 10 men. Then we just held on, and you know, the VAR actually is on our side. You know what I'm saying? Refs are on our side for once. Clap it up. It's kind of crazy, but I don't know what to make of that game. I don't know what to make of that game, bro. I'm gonna be real. I'm just, you know, end the season, bro. That's where I'm at. End the season. This is where I'm standing. Let's get this over with. Let's get this 1 point. Get 1 point to confirm CL footy. I don't care. Get me the point and let's move. I'm tired. Just get me CL footy and let's move on with this. All right. But in terms of the game today, yeah, that first half was disgusting. I wasn't necessarily shocked. I was just incredibly disappointed by how disjointed and how downtrodden the whole team looked. There wasn't anything positive I could really draw from that first half. I'll be real, honestly. But the response was wonderful. At the baseline of all this, the ability to respond and fight and really pull themselves up from deficits to give an effort out, no matter the outfit, no matter the formation of squad and available players that we have. Commend them. I gotta commend these boys on that amount of work that they did to claw their way back in the game. Would have been easy to switch off, probably just do nothing, pass around, and probably go down 3-0. But they kept fighting. They fought harder. They wanted to get something out of this game, and they did. So I got to give them kudos for that. A couple of people who were standouts, but before we can kind of segue into that, in the second half, something happened where in the attack, we actually made a switch of more permanently or on a longer basis throughout the half, have Martinelli go central and then have Trossard hold the width on the left-hand side. And that changed the game for us massively. I think that changed the game for us massively. Again, Martinelli was harrying and getting around the defenders, finding runs constantly, or trying to make runs constantly and showing for him. And that created that different dynamic that opened up the central areas and got us where we needed to be in terms of danger, getting them off kilter, being a bit more unpredictable with how we approach the game. And I thought that was huge. I thought that was really big. And this goes and plays into the long-term discussion that I've definitely had, and a lot of people on Twitter and everywhere else have definitely had, about how do we approach Martinelli. Me personally, again, my overall thing is I don't want him sold. I don't want him sold. I understand people were like in two minds and all that stuff, but I do not want him sold. Excuse me. I do not want him sold. I would much prefer to see him at a point where he is depth primarily for the center forward position. Given how he broke into this team, and especially his stints early, being that inside forward, finding great headers and strikes inside the box, being that fox, being that, again, that poacher, so to speak, he has the capacity to do that. And now that we've seen, at least for a while, that he does not have the capacity to be a really dynamic 1v1 demon, there's opportunity for him to be moved further inside, where we saw him at his best interchanging very often with Gabriel Jesus, and be that center forward that is able to harry and bother and knock off kilter the center backs that he comes up against, and provide moments where he's in the right place at the right time in the box and he doesn't have to do much. I know they, like getting a run at things and trying to have a bit more space was there, but now that teams are defending us a lot more compactly, and there's probably less of a distance to make a decision in this area, and coming from the left hand side, there's only so much angles that you can take from that far out. I think it would behoove the team and behoove him specifically to play from central areas, to play specifically in that center forward spot as a depth option. I think that is the best route of action if Martinelli continues to be in the squad. I think his profile is useful. I think the energy is still useful. He can still cover spaces on the left-hand side defensively because we're so fluid at times. And he has that capacity to be fluid because he had that time at left wing. But most of his time going forward should be spent at center forward. That is the end of story. I've been saying this, again, we've been saying this for years, saying like, yo, Martinelli should kind of have a run. Let him have a go at center forward, like fully. Like, let him have a full go at it. And especially over these last few months, I said, hey, going forward, he needs to be center forward depth. He needs to have more stints and more time in the center forward position. And I'll stand on that. I will stand on that every day of the week. And I thought Trossard on that left-hand side, where we made that adjustment, he was better. I thought, again, the crosses that he was making was better. I thought some of the actions that he was taking was better. Unfortunately, he did come off with an injury, but I thought he was better. David Raya, I thought, made some really, really good saves. I thought he was a standout for me in the game as well. Odegaard, I thought, was really good today. I think overall was really, really good today. Outside of, again, maybe the first half where everybody was bad and there were certain dispossessions that were a part of his game that I didn't like that were a part of it. But I think second half, when things opened up a little bit, Martinelli started showing for runs and he was taking a bit more initiative. There was a bit more of a space to work. And I think he took that space effectively, and it was more aggressive than I've seen him in other games of this season. And the strikes, the incision passing, like that, the attempts to do things that are bolder, I thought were more frequent, and they were helpful in my opinion. So it was good to see that. It was good to see that from him. And my hope is that, I've talked to this as well. Shout out to everybody on Twitter that I rock with and everything like that. But the fact that he has, again, the chance to have more runners with him next season. The striker that we're bringing in, potentially going to be Victor Gyökeres, a new left winger, Saka, a fit Havertz back, having that level of runners around him, and seeing how just Martinelli's movement in the center space opened up those angles, opened up positions for him to try it because he believed in that run. I think that's going to provide dividends and really repair the perception of Martin Odegaard in a big way. The other half of that is what he was showing that got us that equalizer, the ball striking, that level of ball striking and quality and shooting. We need that back consistently. We need that. I ain't seen that in a minute from you, brother. I ain't seen that from a minute. We need that back. So keep working on that and we move. You know what I'm saying? I thought Saka was pretty good today. Was getting doubled pretty consistently, and also the ref was incredibly inconsistent on many accounts. I don't understand what was going on. I thought Partey probably should have been booked earlier. I thought Robertson should have been had a card. I don't know why he was choking Buddy like it was what's it called? What's my name? Andre the Giant and Mean Gene just giving him the choke and stuff like that. Like he needed to have a card or something looked at. Insanity. And yeah, just very inconsistent. But through that, I thought Saka did well. I thought Marino didn't have the best of games, but he was in the right place for the right time for the equalizer. Red card, just, oh gosh, dead legs, tired. I think he was pushed in the back. I got to go look back at where the red card offense was, but I think he was pushed in the back, and that like carried his momentum into those challenges. I think the second one specifically, but overall, it wasn't a great game. I'll be honest. I thought Kiwior had a decent shift as well. Him and MLS, which I'll got to give some plaudits to as well. Kiwior, I thought he did well. Again, his passing range, I think, was shining a little bit more, trying to get out, trying to find, again, those little ping passes over the top and through the channels to help people get onto these runs, help win us some territory and get further up the pitch. Thought Miles Lewis-Skelly overall caught a yellow and people tried to overshoot it, but I thought compared to his first time trying to handle Salah, he did very well. I thought he did very, very well to try and, again, bother, put off kilter, get closer to it. I feel like Salah might have been in mind to like try and spread the wealth and, you know, hoard those last couple of assists maybe, but I thought that MLS handled himself very, very, very well in this matchup against Salah today. And again, that's just good experience for him to get as we're going into next season, into where he's going to be across, you know, midfield duels, wherever he might be from left back duels, going into it. So I thought he was good. But yeah, end this season, bro. Give me this draw and let's end this season. I'm gonna review it. I'm gonna review the season probably, again, maybe like a week or two. I want to try and get a panel together and just like talk about the season. Might do it live, might not. I'm not sure. But big things are coming up in terms of reviewing the end of the season and then taking a break because Arsenal has been very tiring this season. But overall, thoughts on this game, it encapsulated what this season was. It literally did. The momentum and chances that we can create, the lack of ruthlessness to finish things off and get ourselves in better positions, the way we swing momentum to the other team and they find their way to, again, get goals and get things together. The defensive side of things was uncharacteristic until this half of 2020, this season, and in 2025 specifically. I think some defending sequences this year calendar have been very poor, which I wouldn't say it's the whole entire story, but it is half of the story. And yeah, just the lack of dynamic punch and ruthlessness in front of the goal to really finish things off. But again, good fight, being able to jump back, find a solution, fight a way through, just trying to find our rhythm and having that grit and resilience. That has always been a constant in this season as well. And then injury, and then again the PGMOL like tomfoolery throughout. So not the red card, but definitely the choke to not even get a booking on Robertson. That's kind of crazy to me. But yeah, this game had everything that really told the story of how the season went for us. And outside of the things we can't control, i.e. the idiocy of the PGMOL and just, you know, those other things that are out of our power, we know what we need to fix. We know what we need back that we're missing. But listen, I am still very proud of this team. Still very proud of this team. You know, I know where we're at generally, and I know if we address the things that we need to address and really hope for the best in terms of adding depth, adding those attackers and addressing those things, and fitness, hopefully the injuries do not kill us the next season like they did this season, we will be in a great position to win majors next season. That's where my head's at. I believe. I back these guys. It's just tiring though. Let's get to the end of this, man. And speaking of the end of this, let me know in the comment section below what you thought about the game, what you thought about all the different actions and goals and everything like that. What was your favorite performance, least favorite performance? Talk to me below in that comment section and we'll get right to it. But with that being said, I am full-time Trip. This has been all the time that I have, and we'll see you at Newcastle, man. That's gonna be a doozy. But COYG, peace.